Who's ready for a proper catch up? It's been way too long. Hello friends, welcome to the EarthtonesGirl Channel. My name is Denise and this is episode number 75. Hi everybody, I am back. Oh my gosh. It's been a while. It's been an incredibly busy almost 2 months. Today is May 23rd. It's a little bit blurry back there, but May 23rd. My last episode was March 31st. Oh my gosh, but so much has gone on during that time. I haven't taken a break. I mean, I've taken a break from the channel, but not for any negative reason other than just fatigue. There's just been so much going on, and it's so interesting. Do you ever have those moments that you make a plan to do something way down the line and you think it's a great idea when you're planning it and you're all excited, and then you get to the day of the event or the thing and you're like, oh, this was a bad idea. Well, I kind of, not that I thought it was a bad idea, but I realized that I had piled a lot on my plate, a lot. So, what's been going on? Oh my gosh, the new colorway. So the last episode, like I said, was March 31st, and it was announcing the shop update. So the shop was updated with the new colorway, and I had 6 new motivation markers going into the shop, and everything has sold out. I was so excited and so proud. That said, it was a pre-order, but it was a really big pre-order, like huge. And we had, I think 310 skeins that were available, and we had 3 by the time everything was done, not to mention 6 new motivation markers. There were over 308 orders. Wow, it was exciting and it was amazing, but I've never had to process that many orders at once, and it was a lot. It really was a lot. I got it done in 2 shifts. So Michelle, who did the collaboration with me, was amazing. Here is the yarn for those of you who may not have seen it. Oh, look at that. It's just so beautiful. So this colorway is called So This Is Love. There it is. And this was my collaboration colorway with Woolens and Nosh. This is her 90% superwash targhee and 10% nylon 3-ply base. And yeah, it's all gone. So what we did, Michelle dyed it in 2 batches. So we had one big batch that came in initially. Then there was a little bit of a pause. She had some other things going on and she was dyeing up the rest of it. And then that all shipped to me, and then I shipped everything out. So I was basically sitting on all of the orders and was sending them out as I had the yarn. And it's a really great way. Doing a pre-order really is the answer, because it's a really great way to make sure that everybody's bases are covered. The knitters know that their yarn will be coming. They've got it. It's guaranteed. There's less pressure on the dyer because she's got a window of time to get the yarn dyed. And then I, as the supplier shipper, also have a window of time to get everything done. That said, for me personally, I don't like sitting on someone's money and they don't have their products. So even though I knew I had time, and even though I was well within my 4 to 6 week window, I still found it a little nerve-wracking. So, but everything went out. It's all out. Yay. So it's all done. Yay. And yeah, so that said, I know I'm going to get the question, when will I have any more? When's the next pre-order or the next shop update? Right now, we don't have any plans to do another update anytime before fall. We may do another one in the fall, and possibly do a small pre-order for both colorways, for my original one from last year, which was Falling in Love, and for this one, So This Is Love. You see there's a little love theme going on. Nothing has been decided. Nothing is set in stone. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. But I'm 90% sure there will be an update. In the meantime, I do have some, what would I call them? Some one of a kind skeins. Now, these skeins, this skein, right, let's see, let's wait for that to focus. There you go. This skein is the original batch of the colorway. So this was our first attempt at getting the color the way we wanted it. And this, as you can see, is the way it actually came out. So if you can see both, you'll realize this one here is a lot lighter than this one. This one's a little deeper. So we decided to go with the lighter one. So I do have a few of these. I think I have about, and they do come with the mini. The mini is the same. The mini was the same color. It was just that the colorway itself, this one was darker. So I think I have about, I'm guessing maybe 15 to 15, 16, 17 of this, of the original colorway, or the first round of the colorway. And I will be putting these in the shop. Probably not until July. I'm mentioning it now just so you can keep an eye on the shop, and don't worry, I will let everybody know. The reason I'm waiting that long is because May is almost over, and then we will be in June, and June is the end of the school year. It's everything. It's the end of the school year. My daughter's graduating from middle school. There's a lot of activities and a lot of end of year projects and themes and shopping and gifting and parties and things and celebrations. So I don't really want to be distracted from that. So yeah, I think July things will be settled down. Yeah, there'll be time to put those in the shop. There's not many, so it won't feel overwhelming. When they sell out, they sell out. This is a one of a kind. So I will definitely let you know when that's happening. I also have some more motivation markers. Those sold out also, which was really, really wonderful. And I have placed another restock order. They just have to be made. So I'm thinking another shop update in July. So just stay tuned for that. And a little more admin ETG news. The other thing that was on the plate that was so big, and I didn't realize how big it was until it started happening, was my new sock pattern. The Alacrity sock pattern is now out. It is live. It is out in the world. Ta-da! Here it is. Let's pull back so you can see it. I am so excited. It is out and it is in the world, and yay. The little message down here on the front says, Alacrity means with brisk and cheerful readiness. That was my feeling designing this pattern and my hope for you as you cast on. Knit on with alacrity. So I am very, very proud of this. Very excited. It is available on Ravelry. It is also available on my website, EarthtonesGirl.com, and I will link to everything in the show notes under this video. So yeah, now it is not easy writing patterns, everybody. So I really want to make sure that my patterns are as beginner friendly as possible. If you are an experienced knitter, you can pick that pattern up or any of my patterns and just run with them. They're basically almost a blank canvas, with the exception of one more step, but they're basically a blank canvas for you to play with color, play with texture. It focuses primarily on the heels, and I always have videos accompanying, tutorial videos accompanying my patterns. So that said, there are two versions of this pattern that are combined into one. There's two versions of the heel and then two versions of the toe. So it was sort of like writing two in one, and there was just a lot that went into it. I was also working with, and there's a lot of numbers. There's a lot of numbers and fine tuning, and I never want to put anything out that is less than as accurate and perfect as I can get it to be. So yeah, that I really, there were a lot of eyes on this. Not a lot of eyes, but there were eyes on this, meticulously going over it. And as I started to say, I was working with a new tech editor. Her name is Jen Hurley, Sunny Day Knits. And Sunny Day Knits is her website. Sunny Day Knitter is her handle, I think, on Instagram as well as Ravelry. And she is incredible. Just her attention to detail blew me away, because I thought I had attention. I thought I was paying close attention to all the details, and she was like, nope, you missed that. Nope, you missed that. How about this? Why don't we add that? Why don't we change this? And it was wow. And working with a tech editor is never anything personal. They are there to help you create the best product possible, the best pattern possible. And that is what I felt like she did for me. And it was just, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to her for all of her help, for her diligence, for her patience, because I feel like a couple of times during the process of bringing this pattern to life, I had to pause to do a lot of shipping and packaging the yarn, getting the orders out. It was just, there was a lot, like I said, on the plate, and her patience and just her cheering me on. Jen, if you're watching, thank you with all of my heart. Thank you so much. So, yeah, that's been what I've been working on for the last 2 months. And there's been a little bit of knitting, which I will share with you in a second. I also have a book review. Have I ever done a book review? I've talked about books, but I actually have knitting book review to do in this episode also. So 11 minutes in. Yay! I'm just so happy to be back here with you. So let's pause for just a nanosecond and I will be right back. You know what? I decided to save the book review till the end because I do want to share... Oh wait, did I miss a pair? I think I missed a pair. I do want to share with you a pair of some socks that I was working on. And yeah, that's the perfect segue from what I was just talking about. So if you remember, I'll put a picture of them here for you. I knit the Alacrity socks in both the So This Is Love colorway and also in the colorway Carols in the Snow by Tiny Human Knits. And it had a contrasting heel and toe. This time I wanted people to see what the pattern would look like in a solid color. So I knit it up, just a pair of shorties, but here they are. Look at those, you guys. Oh my goodness. Take a look at those. I love them so much. So I think it'll just be easier if I hold up one. Yeah, there we go. There it is. So this is the Alacrity sock pattern done in a solid color. So it has the garter stitch heel turn, and the garter stitch rounded toe. And here it is. And this colorway is so gorgeous. Look at how much is going on in there. There's so much color. These little speckles are just adorable and beautiful. I found knitting this yarn so engaging. I love stripes because I feel like self-striping yarn almost tends to knit itself. But there's definitely something about this particular colorway that it was hypnotizing with all these little pops of color. This is Painter's Palette. The name of this colorway is Painter's Palette, and it is by Legacy Fiber Arts. I feel like I'm not getting maybe that's a little truer to the color. Oh, it's just so pretty. So Painter's Palette by Legacy Fiber Arts, and this is on their Steel Toes base. So it is a 75% merino and 25% nylon. And yeah, so there it is. It's lovely. So it had the original pattern had the option to do the garter stitch heel and either a garter stitch heel Dutch heel turn or a stockinette heel turn, and I just went with the garter stitch heel turn on this. So there you go. So here it is in a solid. For those of you that may not be 100% comfortable changing color, there you go. You can test the waters with that. Again, really a quick, fun knit. And the pattern also gave you the option for a slightly shorter leg or a longer leg. So again, the Alacrity pattern, there's a lot going on in there to suit what you're interested in knitting. Yeah, what else do I have? So on on March 14th. I don't know if I mentioned this. I don't think I mentioned it in the last episode because it was all about the shop update. But I did an event with a yarn shop called Knit Paper Scissors. I don't know why I'm completely blanking on where they are in the US. I'll put that on the screen here for you. But they reached out to me, back in January, I think, asking if I would speak at their March Sock Madness event. And I said, yes, absolutely. And then I met up with them. I met the owners of the shop at Vogue Knitting Live in February. I think Vogue was in February. Anyway, met up with them there, and we had a little brief like, hey, we're the ones that sent the email. Would you be interested? And I said, yes, absolutely. So it was so much fun. It was just an hour and a half. I just chatted with them via a Zoom for their March Sock Madness event. It was really, really fun. I'll link to their shop down below. And they have an in-house dyer, which is Lazy, I'm just checking my notes, Lazy Bee Yarn, and she dyed a custom colorway for me / the event, and it was called Bird's Eye View. And she wanted something that was earth tones, but not the classic earth tones. And when I think of earth tones, I automatically think of the browns, creams, caramel colors, things like that, more neutrals. And it's so interesting when I opened the package. So they gave me a heads up. I knew it was coming. And I got the package and I opened it and I thought, oh, okay, not what I was expecting. Beautiful, but not quite what I was expecting. So I thought, okay. And I kind of held it in my hand and I'm driving home and I put it down on the seat in the car. I'm driving home, and where my house is, I pass for those of you that know New York and know New Jersey, I'm right near the Hudson River. I'm not far. I don't even think a mile away from the Hudson River. So I pass there coming home from the post office, and the other side of the Hudson River is New Jersey. So what you're seeing are the Palisades. And I'm driving home and I'm sort of, the view catches my eye, and then I'm looking at the yarn and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, she nailed it. It really is a bird's eye view. And all of these beautiful earth colors. And it's this. This is what she created. Oh my gosh, look at this. I fell so in love with this colorway. I thought it was so beautiful. And it's really interesting. I'm going to turn this so you can see. It's really interesting how it pooled and how it's striped. And the little pops of white are clouds, the green are the trees, and it was just before spring, so you still had all of like the brown leaves on the trees, like the dead leaves on the trees, which from a distance look really beautiful. And that's the brown, and then you have the blue from the sky. Oh my gosh, and the yellow in the sun. I just thought she absolutely nailed this colorway, and I tip my hat. So yay. So I was able to get one of the socks knit up for the event just to show off the yarn. And when I posted these on Instagram, it created a bit of a stir, which was not my intention. I just wanted to share the yarn, and this is me. For those of you that have been watching for a while, you know that my way to relax is to play with sock patterns. It's just, and heels and cuffs and toes. It's just what I do. And this pattern, so let's just look at one for a second. Do it this way. So this pattern is, I don't know if you remember the Rose City Rollers pattern. That is what this is. Now this can be any sock pattern. Let me say that up front. You can use my No Fear Shorty Sock pattern for this. Anything that has a heel flap and gusset. I wouldn't necessarily use a short row heel because it is really short. It's an ankle sock, so I feel like it needs a heel flap and gusset to give it a little bit more depth in here. You see how that, just to have that come up a little bit, you need a little height on there. And I used the Rose City Rollers. I was originally going to follow the pattern as written, and the pattern has a roll rim cuff. It's still an ankle sock, but it has a rolled rimmed cuff here. So you just knit up, wait, it's not focusing. Hold on. There we go. So you knit in stockinette for a little bit, and then you start with the heel. So what it does is it just gives you like a rolled edge at the very top. And that pattern was written by I think Marie Harper. Orange Knits was her name on Instagram. Unfortunately, the pattern has been discontinued. I think she's discontinued all of her patterns. I don't know why. It just is what it is. I had it in my stash. I just pulled it out and knit it. But again, you can use any pattern. I'm going to say this again because I know I'm going to get this question a gajillion times in the comments. Can you use another pattern and why is it discontinued? I don't know why it was discontinued. I'm not in touch with the designer in any way. I had this in my stash from years, in my Ravelry library from years ago, and I had a hard copy somewhere and just pulled it out. You can use any sock pattern. And the only modification that I did was a garter stitch cuff. So for the cuff right here, I changed it and knit 10 rounds of garter stitch. Knit a row, purl a row for 10 rounds. That's all I did. I followed the rest of the pattern to the letter. And yeah, it created the cutest little ankle sock to wear with clogs, which is perfect for spring because I'm kind of done and I'm shedding the boots, but my feet still get cold. So it was just perfect. It was perfect. I loved it. It's so comfy. It stays up on my heel. It does not ride down. So yeah, that's what I did. That's my little modification there. So there we go. So yeah, that was this bird's eye view, a modified Rose City roller pattern. So those were also knit, and I have not had the brain space for anything really complicated lately. Just really simple. I just want something super simple and mindless and quick, hence the shorties. That is just really, really satisfying. So I have one more pair of socks to show you, and then we'll talk about the books. I'll be right back. Okay, I found the other pair. And I didn't realize I put them in my little box of socks because I throw those all into this little box as I knit them throughout the year. So I went back to my old favorite. I went back to self-striping, soothing, mindless, comforting. Knitting self-striping socks for me is like a bowl of macaroni and cheese. Like, it's mac and cheese. It's comforting, cozy, it's yummy, it makes you feel good, it makes you feel calm. It's wonderful. So here they are. Oh my goodness. Let's pull back a little so you can see them. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I love these so much. Zoom in so you can see those gorgeous stripes. Look at that. Look at the heel. There we go. And the toes don't quite match. There's a tiny little pop of the darker gold on this sock, but not on this one. But you know what? I don't care. I love them. And this colorway is called First Time for Everything, and it is by Freckled Whimsy. Now, people have asked me in the past which self-striping yarn is my favorite, which dyer is my favorite, and I refuse to answer the question because it's like picking a favorite child. It's very, very hard to choose. I do have a few favorites. That said, this is on my list. This dyer, Carrie of Freckled Whimsy, definitely makes my list. I love her colors. I love the base, the yarn itself. Yeah, I feel like these kind of knit themselves. And I talked about ages ago, how my socks and what I'm knitting becomes a diary for me, because I always attach it to, my knitting just sort of automatically becomes attached to events, to places, to things that are happening in my life. And I knit these while listening to a book. I'm going to talk about that in more detail later because I really want to talk about this book. And it's just, these are special, so so special for me, and I'll save that for another episode to go into that book. So great, so so great. So yes, lots of special, lots of good memories attached to these. Lots of beautiful words and wool. It's words and wool, which is the name of my newsletter. So which I haven't put out in a little while, but don't worry, I will. So yeah, so I knit these. First Time for Everything is the name of the colorway, and I just used my basic Soxploration pattern. So it's a full length sock with a shadow wrap short row heel. And this particular heel, because I know I'm going to get this question too, what is the yarn in this heel? It is a 20-gram mini that I had in my stash. It did not have a name. I've had it for a while. I know that it is by Tiny Human Knits. But that is as much as I know. I call it chestnut. It's like a perfect chestnut color. But I don't know. It did not have a name, and I've had it for a really, really long time. I did check Lauren's shop, and she does not have it in the shop anymore. So, yeah, that's just part of having a stash. You go stash diving to get things from your stash, minis, contrasting colors, etc. So that came from my stash. So yeah, now it's time for a book review. Let's get into it. So I am going to do these like a 3, 2, 1, counting down to my favorite. Lane magazine, I think just after Vogue, Lane magazine, or I think it was announced actually at Vogue Knitting Live in New York, that Lane magazine, or Lane Publishing, forgive me, Lane Publishing, Laine Publishing, was going to be putting out a 52 Weeks of Socks Volume 2. And everybody was abuzz. I know I was abuzz, because their first one, if you have had the pleasure of purchasing the first one, or if you've seen it, it is an incredible collection of sock patterns. It really is. And it is 52 sock patterns, so you can knit a pair a week, hence the title, 52 Weeks of Socks. And I had the first one. I got a chance to sort of flip through volume 2 and fell madly in love. And I reached out to Lane, and I said, I just sent them an email. I reached out and said, I would love to, if you all are interested, I would love to talk about your new book and maybe do a review. And they said, yay, we would love that. So along with that book, they also sent 2 others. One I knew was coming, the other one I knew, but the third one was a complete surprise, and it is really, really, really a great, cute book. So let's start with this one, my number 3. This is Neons and Neutrals. It is written by Amy Gilles. Forgive me for not being able to pronounce her last name. This is, Amy is the owner of La Bien-Aimée. She is the designer, and she is a dyer. So this is a knitwear collection curated by Amy. I'm going to say Gilles. Forgive me. Anybody, please correct me in the comments if I'm totally wrong. Of La Bien-Aimée. And there you go. And I think that these are all different designers. I think she did the dyeing of the yarn and all of the patterns. So that is Amy. And of course, I love that the book is pink. This book has some very, very beautiful knitwear patterns. It is a gorgeous book. I'm going to include some video. It's kind of hard for me to flip this way, so I'm just going to insert some video here of me flipping through this book. The patterns are gorgeous, simple designs with very interesting touches to them. I love it. It's really, really it's a beautifully laid out book. You have your terms and everything in the front. It is, let me see if I can find 1 or 2 designs that really spoke to me. Now, one thing, the reason why I had it down as pattern, like, oh my gosh, look at that, you guys. Can you all see that? Look at that design. It is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. I'm an absolute sucker for a yoke sweater, and this pattern is called Warvel. And it's by, oh, I'm going to kill these names. Okay, I'm going to try to sort of cover the majority of the pattern, but that is the designer. If you can see that. I'm not sure if that came in clear. But yeah, that is the designer of this one. I mean, it is just a gorgeous design. It'll just be easier if I do the overhead so you can see what I'm doing. Let me see if I can find another one. That's really pretty. So this book is beautifully written. The patterns are well written, very easy to understand. The reason why I have, oh, and this vest, look at that. Look at that vest. Just beautiful. It's such a gorgeous book. It really, really is just gorgeous. The colors of the patterns, the colors that were chosen, hence the title Neons and Neutrals, not necessarily my jam or to my taste, but I can see past the colors. I'm looking at the designs. I'm looking at the beauty of the designs, the intricacy. So yeah, I think it's a beautiful, beautiful book. Again, by Lane Publishing. Okay, a knitwear collection curated by Amy Gilles. So I highly recommend this gorgeous book. My second book, I'm always glancing at my watch. You guys, again, if you've been with me for a little while, you know that I glance at my watch because I always end up recording just before I have to leave to pick the kids up from school. Why do I do that? I don't know, because I use the morning to do other things. Anyway, so this was a surprise in the package, and it is adorable. Look at this. It's called Moochie and Friends, Seamless Toys to Knit and Love, and it's by Cynthia Valet, or Valette. Look at this book. It's just so pretty. I love the cover. Step into the magical forest of Moochie the bear and his friends. That's what's written on the back. And these little designs, oh my, okay. Look at this one, guys. Look at that. Can you see that? Oh my gosh. Does it get any cuter? No, not really. It's just their little toy patterns. Adorable. Beautiful detail. This is Nana. Look at that little duck. How cute. If you just love simple, well, I wouldn't say these are necessarily simple, but there's a lot of detail in these patterns, but the patterns are so well written. Look at Alphonse and Miri. Look at that one. I mean, who does not need a knitted pig? I know I do. I do. You know I have Paddington back there. So I love little toys like this. I can kind of picture a whole little parade of them right back there on my shelf. Let me see if I can find, I mean, there's little backpacks. Look at this one. Look at this. Look at this little bag. He's got a satchel. I mean, does it get any cuter? No, not really. So if you're into knitting toys, knitting small little things as gifts to decorate your space, or to have, look at this one. Oh my gosh. Can that get any cuter? I mean, it really, really can't get any cuter. I mean, look at the horns. Horns, you guys. Adorable. So if you've got any children in your life, babies in your life that you would like to knit for, this is a really sweet book. I mean, all right, I've got to show you Hazel. Look at Hazel. Can you see Hazel? I mean, can you stand it? I can't stand it. That little dress. Highly recommend this one also. I'm going to link to all of these and then there's even a section. So if you're not necessarily into the bears, if let's say you have someone in your life that has little dolls or little toys and you want clothes for them, there's a whole section on just knitting the outfits that are worn by the toys. So cute. So if you're in the market for something like this, highly recommend this book. It is beautiful just to have on your shelf as a coffee table book. It's beautiful to use. Patterns are beautifully written. Highly recommend that. And last but not least, let's get into it. I'm going to do an overhead of this one also. 52 weeks of socks, you guys. Look at just the one on the cover. I mean, just look at that. 52 Weeks of Socks by Lane Publishing. The book has like a fabric cover, so it just even tactily touching the book just feels warm and cozy. Beautifully, the book is gorgeous. I have to show you the one pattern that made my jaw drop. Let me see if I can find it. Of course, I should have tagged it. All right, I'm going to keep talking while I flip through and try to find it. If you know the first book, you know that the quality in this book is just outstanding. Incredibly talented designers. There are a lot of sock patterns that are available online. A lot of sock patterns you can buy individually. If you're in the market to add to your book collection, if you collect knitwear or fiber related books, which I do, this is a beautiful volume to add to your shelf. I am not being paid to say any of this. I think these books are beautiful. I think they're amazing. There is so much in here. And why a book instead of an individual pattern? Because you get a lot of technical information. There's a lot of explanation on charts, and the patterns are really, really unusual. I mean, these are patterns like for knitting with a capital K, sock knitting with a capital S and a capital K. So this particular one is called Rapunzel by Agata Mekowitz. I'm gonna turn this very carefully. Look at that. Look at that heel. Look at that sock, you guys. Look at that heel. Oh my gosh. My jaw dropped. My jaw dropped. That kind of heel shaping makes me want to drop everything I'm doing, grab the needles, and just cast on immediately. Like, I love this kind of thing. So another really beautiful one, I think, is the next one, which is actually designed by a friend of mine. And it's called, wait. It's called Joyce. Okay. And here it is. It's by Charlotte Stone. And the name of the pattern is Joyce. And there it is. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm just checking to be sure it's on the screen. It's so beautiful. It is just a gorgeous colorwork pattern. Gorgeous colorwork design. Let me see if there's another picture of it. No, just that one. But I mean, I could go on and on. Let me show you one more. These beautiful Hilda, these little footies. Oops, look at these. Can you see those? Oh my gosh, get the book, guys. I know it's a little pricey, may not be in your price range. Save up for it, add it to a wish list. And if you can't, you can't. Sometimes these patterns are released down the line as individual patterns. That does happen sometimes from books. This one is definitely worth the money. It's a gorgeous book. Really, really gorgeous. So a huge, huge thank you to Lane Publishing. Cindy, if you're watching, thank you so much for sending me these books and giving me the opportunity to have a look and to just dive in and get lost in them for a little while. Thank you so, so much. I am going to be doing a giveaway of 52 weeks of socks. I have one for myself, so I'm going to be giving this one away. And it's not going to be, I'm not going to do it for this episode. I'm going to do a separate little mini giveaway episode. So stay tuned for that. But, and I have another book also by Charlotte Stone that I want to give away. I want to kick off the summer with some sock knitting. There's a lot of sock related knitting events that are going to be going on this summer. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much to everybody here that watches, that has subscribed, that contributes to the channel, that donates to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for following along. And also just giving me the space to not be here for a little while, to do other things and then to come back. I always feel so, so welcome. Yeah, it's just, I'm so glad I had the chance to chat with you today. Thank you for watching. I will be back again really soon. The bulk of the crazy with Earth Tones Girl is gone, but I can fit in smaller episodes, even though June is going to be a busy month. So I will see you again soon. There's going to be a giveaway, more socks, and I've made a decision about my white sweater. Do you all remember the white sweater that's been on needles for about 3 years now? I'm done. We'll talk about that later. It's like a cliffhanger. I'm ending on a cliffhanger, so you'll come back. Thanks, everybody, and I will see you all again really, really soon. Bye, everyone. Bye.